Hello everybody, I'm Krasi, and this is a short video about showing you how I'm making the talismans of Mercury. A couple of days ago I showed you the election, how astrologically the timing looks like, the timing for the creation of powerful Mercurian talismans. We need to look at many aspects. First, like I mentioned previously, the most important moment is to choose the appropriate, the good timing when the planet or the star is highly dignified. Highly dignified would mean to respond to many astrological requests. Not only that, the star or the planet to be on midheaven or on angular or on other angular position, but also to be in a heliacal phase, which would say phase according to the position of the sun, to be appropriate and powerful and well placed, so that when we create the talismans, the moment of the election, the planetary spirit to feel powerful, to be well placed, to be joyful, and to accept our invitation, invocation ceremony, so that the planetary spirit or the starry spirit comes during the ceremony and accepts to enter the talismans which I'm making. This is very, very, very ancient tradition. We know that it goes back to Babylon, but before Babylon as well. The Thracians, in so many cultures, you would hardly see a piece of jewelry in excavations to be just an ordinary piece of jewelry. It would always have meaning, either for protective purposes or for achieving certain goals, like are the purposes of the talismans, or for protection against bad spirits, like would be the amulet. So this is amazing science of the astrological divination, the science of the astrological talismans, the most interesting, I believe, part of astrology. So I usually I announce the election when I will be making the talismans, and then I'm showing you my ritual space, because this is particularly interesting for those of you who already have or ordered my talismans, because then you have the exact understanding and feeling how this is happening, what are you wearing. So I will remind you in only 1 second. I will share my screen to remind you the election. A couple of days ago I showed you, so this is the election. See, we have Mercury not only on midheaven, not only in his own term, but visible as an evening star, which is already amazing and ominous in a good sense. We have many, many rules which beautifully apply to this chart to make the day and the hour wonderful for invoking the spirit of Mercury. And at that moment, I was making yesterday the astrological talismans of Mercury. What is very interesting here, I will tell you something amazing. We need to look, because when I'm closing the ceremony and I'm asking whether the planet to give me a sign, which often arrives in a dream or other ways, but this time something amazing happened, which was I was making the talismans in the garden, and then when I started the ceremony, the ritual, rain started, sun and rain simultaneously, which was amazingly beautiful. And then when I finalized the ceremony, which was about maybe 45 minutes, I think, the rain stopped. So this was, I considered, a very beautiful omen, because everything we do, we should look at the weather conditions, or the birds which are flying. Everything is important. Everything is bringing you omen for good or for bad. Everything is giving a sign. So I will now show you my short video. It was 5-6 minutes video of my ritual space. Enjoy. You're very welcome to comment. And if you like to see all my talismans, they are available on my website, which I am placing under this video. So let me show you first the Mercurian herbs that I'm growing in my garden. This is just sage. I have purple sage and just this ordinary sage, which everyone knows. There is white sage as well, but these are very Mercurian. Simple clover, also very appropriate for Mercury. But you look at this beautiful purple clover. From the purple clover, people extract essential oils, very, very appropriate for Mercury. I, of course, gather the herbs only when the time is appropriate. There is a separate video on my channel about this. So there should be, the herbs can be gathered only in the very appropriate planetary hour and planetary day, so that they really work. So let me show you my ritual space, a bit from a distance maybe, so that you can see everything. So this is my ritual space, and it's outside. It's very appropriate to make your talismans outside, because, well, you can do as well inside, but here I also have Mercurian herbs. You can see these tiny herbs, and these are the ones that I gathered from the nature. You can see the dry clover and many. It's all ruled by Mercury, and they are dry because I use the planetary moment ruled by Mercury to gather the herbs, and then I dry them so that I can have for also during the winter time. And this is my collection of essential oils. Each one of them is extracted also properly and pure. And of course, the jewelry, water, flour I use, and the jewelry needs to be made also as a combination of gemstone, which belongs to Mercury's root by the planet, and also the appropriate metal. I use only precious metals because, like, if you take Jupiter for example, Jupiter is ruling tin, but you can imagine how difficult it would be to wear a piece of jewelry and to have it long lasting if it is really made by not precious metals. So the precious metals are appropriate to be used for every planetary astrological jewelry. So this is serpentine green, ruled by Jupiter, peridot, mixed rulership Sun and Jupiter, prehnite, green garnet, very, very carefully chosen to be unheated, without any single treatment, and also no radiation, no coloring. The gemstones, if you make in your own talismans, you need to take into consideration they should be, see, this is green tourmaline. If it was treated, it would have been very, very light. So the gemstones shouldn't be absolutely by no means treated. And then, so because of the wind, the fire didn't last. I will do it later. But because of the important planetary moment, of course, I first make the election. I elect the planetary time appropriate for the creation of Mercurian or other talismans, and then I'm applying ritual which belongs to the culture of the ancient Babylon, and of course the ancient Thracians, because of my Bulgarian origin. And it is a white ritual. Actually, you create ritual space with the help of God, only the Creator, and then I invoke the spirit, applying all what you see, applying the right scent, it's burning a bit, applying the herbs which you gathered only in very appropriate moment, the essential oils, and then I engrave, but you probably will not be able to see it here, on a secret place behind every talisman, the secret occult esoteric symbol of the planet. So this is basically how it goes. Every time I'm showing you my ritual space, because it's interesting for people to see how their talismans are being created. Another important thing is that if you're making your own talismans, it's very, very appropriate to do fasting 10 days in advance, because let me show you my roses, which I'll be using for Venus very shortly in July. My roses, which I will gather also on Friday, our Venus Day of Venus. So I was telling that when you're making your own talismans, it is very appropriate to do fasting 10 days according to your culture. Every culture is doing different fasting. In my culture it is 10 days, and fasting would include not using in your diet any animal products, and also restricting yourself from other human instincts. So this is how I understand fasting, and this is how the fasting is working when you're doing astro magic for the creation of astrological talismans, because with the creation of the astrological talismans you're invoking a planetary spirit, and you need to be pure, because I'll show you my other clovers. See, they're tiny but very, very wonderful for Mercurian Mercurian talismans. So fasting is really needed, because we people have our own smells, scents, and we really need to be very pure, because even though if we don't even feel it, the high divinities, those that come from very high hierarchies, like the planetary divinities, those that rule the planets, will certainly come only if we are very pure. So this was, I hope, informative. Your comments are very welcome. So this was about my ritual space and how I'm making the Mercurian talismans, which you will see on my website, and among the others which I made of Jupiter, Aldebaran, Venus, just everything. All this information is on my website, and also you may find interesting the resources which you can download on my astralmagicschool.com, which, if you're interested to see how planets correspond to colors, to gemstones, this information is all available there, and I believe is very interesting. So see you soon.